there are very, very few nations that do not want to be partners with us. China is one. China has always been very secretive. I think we're in a race with China. I was disappointed at the opaqueness of the Chinese space program, an incident last year when most of the world was left guessing where debris from a rocket launch would land. The second one, we didn't know if it was going to hit Europe or Saudi Arabia. Fortunately, it ended up in the Indian Ocean and China would not let us or anyone know about the trajectory, and we disagree with that position. We think that the civilian space program ought to be open and transparent. And that we ought to help each other out if there's some emergency. China just has not been willing to be open about their space program. We are planning a crewed moon probe for the first time since the 1970s. In mid-November, we launched our next generation moon rocket, the Space Launch System, SLS, with an uncrewed Orion capsule. NASA has picked SpaceX to develop a vehicle that will allow astronauts to land on the moon in 2025 or later. The program, dubbed Artemis. I think we will beat China, who is aiming to have astronauts reach the moon by 2030. I think that's also important because those who return to the moon first with humans, that will be a significant achievement. And I think China would like to do that. If our program is successful, and our commercial lander is successful, I think we will be able to get there, somewhere in 2025, maybe 2026. Because the Artemis program requires state-of-the-art technology and carries a hefty price tag, each rocket launch costs some $4 billion. It is crucial for the US collaborate with other nations. Japan is one of our strongest and most valued partners. And this relationship is a priority for the Biden administration and the Japanese government. We're hoping the signing of the framework agreement with Japan can be in February when I'm there. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency and Toyota Motor are working to develop a moon rover that astronauts can drive. The Artemis program includes a plan to build the Gateway space station, which will orbit the moon. There is already an agreement that a Japanese astronaut will be stationed there. Japanese astronaut will land on the moon once we get to a point of working the habitable rover out. Russian Soyuz rockets have carried American astronauts to the International Space Station, but Moscow has been signaling a possibility of withdrawing from the space station. That cooperation continues as of now. It is very professional.